you always will hear people say that you are one of the most underrated MCs, just period. Do you feel like you are underrated? And when we talk about the GOATs, and if so, like why do you think that?
I mean, probably because I'm not as accessible as, you know, all these other people are. Obviously, you know, I'm still independent. So, you know, I do what I do. And it don't really go, I guess, beyond that.
Right.
So it's kind of like I'm, you know, it's a ceiling there. So, but I mean, I don't know. Having access to get out of that ceiling is something that, you know, we experiment with, because definitely needs to happen. But to say underrated, I mean, you know, it's a yes and no thing. I mean, I feel where it may be coming from, but then at the same time, I know the people that they consider to be GOATs, they know who I am. So I'm not really tripping on it too hard.
Facts.
Man.
You're also, I feel like, one of the guys who used melodies in a way that like not a lot of artists really, like when you were doing the melodic shit, it wasn't like the thing to do. As opposed to like fast forward to today, everyone's got crazy melodies and everyone's kind of doing their singing thing. But I feel like you've been doing that for fucking ever.
I mean, you know, I had to. It was a money thing.
Yeah.
Because when I first started off, I couldn't afford to pay nobody to sing that shit for me.
So you're like, yo, I ain't got nobody to do the hook, so I
learned how to do it myself. Yeah.
Wow.
I stood in the mirror. Somebody was charging me $500 for something, and I was like, I ain't got no motherfucking $500. So I stood in the mirror like I sung the part until it sounded all right. Then I just kept doing that shit after that. I just kept on and kept on and kept on. And I mean, shit, it just became second nature.
That's fire.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
It did. It pays a lot of bills.
It does. It does indeed, man. Can you tell me what it was like? Because you came up with the Screwed Up Click, and I feel like I kind of got hip to that. Obviously, I knew about like stuff being chopped and screwed, but in terms of like consuming that kind of music, I kind of got into listening to Screwed and Chopped shit around the time like the first Mike Jones album came out, and like Michael Watts was doing it. But obviously, Screwed Up Click is the originators. Did you understand the like gravity of being a part of like? Did y'all feel like you were part of some historical shit at the time, or were y'all just doing your thing? And
it was kind of both. Like in the beginning, obviously it was the ending by the time I got there.
Right.
But like, I had been watching what this music was doing. You know, you come to Houston and you playing your record. If they like it, first thing they gonna do is slow that shit down. And they weren't just gonna slow it down. They had to be slowed down with the correct type of double beating, and like Screw had to do that shit. So in the first beginning, it was just like, oh man, you know, yeah, it's some cool shit for Houston. Until the people from Canada and, you know, coming from Amsterdam, oh, we just got off the plane. We want to get Return of the Red. We want to get Worldwide Southside and all this here. Like, you want to get all that. So they coming from other countries to come get these back then, which was just cassette tapes.
But they were like bootlegs, right? So like they'd go for overseas. People would pay a lot of good money for that shit.
But they was coming over here paying regular price.
Well, yeah,
Screw was selling it out his house. This out the house, like out his daddy house.
Crazy.
And then you get the store, so now it's like it don't matter where you come from. They flying all the way in because they like, oh no, his store, Screwed Up Click Records and Tapes. Screwed Up Records and Tapes is at the time it was located on Cullen Boulevard. So they just get out the plane and come on Cullen Boulevard, go in there, take pictures with everything, get loaded up, and go back to their respective countries. So I think right before we passed, that's when we was like, nah, man, this shit getting iconic.
It's different.